Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. So today we are going to start the strip down of the Caddy, but first I need to move it from where it's been positioned for the last few months into the garage. We were initially going to push it, but that ain't going to be possible. It's a bit of a difficult car to push, particularly since I've got a slight incline. So we're going to drive it, but to drive it there's going to be a lot of smoke. Let's see what happens. Okay, so today is when we start to disassemble the engine. But in order for that to happen, I need to get old Smokey here into the garage. And that's going to be an arm and a leg. Because first of all, I've got to fill a seat. So let me do that. I'm going to get the seat in there, then we'll get her into the garage. I've already cleared her out. The S3 is out on the road, as you can see there. The path to the garage is completely cleared, and we just need to get it inside here. Now, to get it in here, it is going to create so much smoke. My neighbors are going to hate me, but hey, that's the only way we can get it in there. Then we can get her up on the ramp. Now, I have measured, and we can actually use the lift, but we can only bring her up 45 centimeters. Once you get to 45 centimeters, this ramp on its down cycle, it goes up 12 centimeters. So the van's about 170 centimeters high, and that leaves me, once I get it up to about 45 centimeters, you probably don't want to know this, but 45 centimeters is my limit, and then that should give me a bit of clearance so that if it goes up, before it comes down, it's not going to hit the roof and damage the van, or even worse still, damage my roof. How I wish I had an archy roof, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, let's get the van in here. I may just actually show it. Yeah, I might just do that. Okay, it's in the garage. Oh, absolutely smoked out the neighborhood and the garage at that fact. We're just waiting for the smoke to clear, but trust me, this has been going on for the last few minutes. I mean, you couldn't see anything. I had to literally jump out and go into the garden, and it's just a wall of smoke. So this is going to take a little while to clear. What's the time at the moment? 14:35. Half past 2, just half past 2. Let's see how long it takes for the smoke to clear. All right, let's see what she looks like underneath the bonnet. Ooh. Oh, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be absolutely full of smoke and full of oil all over the place. I mean, there's soot everywhere, that's for sure, but certainly not much as oil, not as much oil. Alright, so let the strip down begin. We're going to take off the front bumper, take it all off the rad pack. That's going to leave the engine available for us. Also going to see if we can get the van further back a little bit, but we'll push that. We should be able to do that. Give us a little bit more space in the front to work with. And yeah, smoke is beginning to clear now. So but yeah, mission accomplished. We got the van in the garage. Right, so I'm just gonna turn off the alarm, because I want to disconnect the battery, and hopefully the alarm won't go off. Okay, we're good. The alarm does have a battery, so that's why I'm conscious of making sure we get that disconnected. Alright, so we're now in, which is good. So literally we're sitting on a ramp and we're sitting good, and we actually measured it so that the extractor fan, or the ventilation fan, is just in between the two beams here. Now I'm going to take off these roof rails, and the reason being is it's going to give me a little bit more headroom to lift the van up, because I realized that although the front here is slightly higher, the back, as you can see, you may not be able to see, is lower, and then this one here is lower again, so my 45mm is actually not as much. So if I take these rails off, it's going to give me some more lift, because that's quite important if we're going to get that engine out. Alright, so let me get these rails off, and then we can start to lift her up. Okay, so we've got the van in the air. Yes, amazing. We ain't got much clearance to the back, but don't worry about that. Let's start stripping. That's what you're here for. So we're going to take off the front. That's the idea. And then we'll take off the slam panel, and we'll just get on to taking off all of the panel. Let's get on with it. Right, so we've got the bumper off and the headlights. Really tricky to get the headlights off. Didn't want to break these clips because I always do traditionally. Normally in Volkswagens you push them in and then you maneuver this little latch and you hear a click, and that means it's released. These weren't doing that, but I've done it in the end, so they're off. So that's all off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take off the slam panel, and that is held in by these bolts here. 1, 2, 3. Is there a fourth one? Well, yep, there's a fourth one underneath that as well. That should have released the slam panel, and then that will let the panel here hang loose. I then have to get my friend to come and degas the van and get the AC coolant, the refrigerant, which is R134A, out, and then we can then take off the radiators. The good thing about this, we don't have to drain the radiator because it's already drained, because most of the water has gone inside this engine. Alrighty, let's crack on and take off those bolts. Alright, so you can see we've got the slam panel detached. I've left the hoses because even though I think this has got no water in it, I'm not 100% sure. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a pan, stick it underneath here. We'll take off that bottom hose off there, and then we'll see what comes out. Hopefully nothing, but if it does, we're going to be prepared. I'm not going to get caught out, and I really don't want to get coolant all over this floor because that would be a nightmare to clean up. But at the moment what I'm doing is I'm just disconnecting all the cables that I am attaching, and he saw me take a photo so that I can remember where everything goes. This time I am trying to put all the screws back that have come off so we don't lose anything, because when I did the S3, or the TTS I should say rather, that was a nightmare because I didn't take much care because I wasn't really in the mood to do it. This one we are, and like I said, this van's already sold, so we need to make sure that we preserve everything. And we're going to clean up as we go as well, to give this van a real good service as we actually take this bits apart. Alright, enough talk, let's get on with it. Right, so it is taking me the best part of half an hour, but finally that radiator is detached. Let me just move it out of the way. Okay, right, so we've now got it all detached. and we're now ready for stage 2, which is engine removal. Now what I plan to do with this engine next week, and we will be removing it next week, is I plan to just get my trolley over there, my trusty blue trolley, get it underneath here and then pull the engine out without using a trolley engine hoist, because the engine hoist with this engine, the way it sits quite far into the firewall, under the firewall there. So with the trolley we can just pull it out. At least that's the plan. So we will get to that next week and get this engine out. Then we can start stripping, because all of these ancillaries, including this bad boy, we're going to remove this to the new one because that's brand new. They all need to be taken out. But before we do that, we're going to make sure we take a picture of every single cable so we know exactly where everything goes and we don't fall into the same trap we did on the TTS, which really did delay me. But yeah, I think we're pretty satisfied with what we've accomplished today. Actually, I'm going to talk about time lapse and all this in a moment, because there was a couple of comments, or at least one comment that somebody put in which I want to address. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy with what we've been able to achieve today. Right, okay, I'm going to address an issue. So I had I always look for your comments, and I don't always reply because, quite frankly, I don't really have a lot of time these days. But there was one comment that I saw. I'm not going to name the person, but he mentioned in his quote there that it'll probably take me 10 videos just to change the engine. Now, it's not going to take me 10 videos to change the engine, but let me explain why my videos aren't as snazzy or as good as people like Salvage Nation, Salvage Rebuilds, Matt Armstrong, etc, etc. I only do this part-time. In fact, I don't even do it part-time. I do this 1 day a week because YouTube isn't my main job. YouTube isn't my job, in fact. YouTube is my hobby. Fixing cars is my other hobby. So the two combined together makes one hobby, and I spend 1 day in the weekend doing that. And I do that so I can spend time with my family. And I only do the videos because so many of you enjoy it. When you get comments like that, I'm quite thick-skinned. It doesn't really bother me. But every now and again you do think to yourself, well, why do I bother doing this? Because I'd be more than happy to just continue doing this without posting videos on YouTube. In fact, posting videos on YouTube is what takes a lot of time, and a lot of creators will tell you that actually if you didn't have to do a video, you can get along a lot quicker, because you've got to stop, film a bit, go back to it, film another bit, try and build a story to make it entertaining. And I admit my videos in recent times have been a bit really drawn out, but that's because I try to deliver content every week. Now, if you're not happy with that, that's absolutely fine. You can unsubscribe. It's absolutely free, and I'm not doing this to get you to stay and subscribe. But I do gauge the popularity of my videos by A, how many people view them, B, how many people subscribe. And at the moment, those numbers are going down, way down. Now, they do normally go down in January and February because the advertising revenue isn't there, etc. And YouTube's analytics tend to be focused on bigger channels that are pushing where they can earn more money, and that's fair enough. But of course, you get to a point where you think to yourself, well, is this worth doing anymore? And I am certainly getting to that point because, like I said, I only have the weekends and I really want to spend quality time with my family, etc. And so really what I'm saying is, if you enjoy this content, subscribe. Show that. That's how you show us people, us content creators, whether or not you enjoy it or not. And if you subscribe, it means that the algorithm will start pushing that content. And yes, things will get better on my channel. At the moment, I have a couple of projects that are long and drawn out, and I have limited time because of my work commitments. Now, over the next couple of weeks, for example, I got a lot of traveling, which means I've got to somehow fit in these videos. And if you guys want me to do so, say so in the comments, continue doing it. And I know a lot of you will. But if not, then obviously, when if I see those numbers drop off, then the content will drop off as well. It's as simple as that. So I hope that explains a lot, and why the content is what it is. I have no intentions at this time of making this a business. I did at one stage, and like all the other channels you see, it is their business. So they have to do content because that's their income. This is by no way income. All this pays for is a servicing of my cars. That's all it pays for. And even that is a push. So I do this purely for the fact that people enjoy the content rather than any money that YouTube pay, which is very little if I'm really honest, to do it. So if you do enjoy this content, then click on the subscribe button and click on the bell notification, because both of those are part of the algorithm. And so by your support, it shows whether or not YouTube will push this out. So thank you. I hope I didn't go on for a lot, but I will certainly be able to tell by the comments that you put in. So we'll see you next week when we start taking the engine out of that vehicle, and no, it won't be 10 episodes. So have a good one. See you next week.